I can't just go up to someone and go, hey dude, like, you like JavaScript? No. You can't go up to someone and say, market and say that. It just doesn't work, right?
Hey friends, welcome to Stars Behind the Browser, where every episode I invite one of the experts in the web industry to sit down, have a drink with me, and we'll talk about web. My name is Sean, I'm your host, and today we have Wai Liu.
Hello.
Wai is a project manager with technical background, organizer of CanberraJS meetup group, and a co-host for Adventures in .NET show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers for as Sean was saying, currently I'm a project manager at the Department of Finance. But yeah, I've been a developer for a long time. I think my first year was probably 2005, and that was when I first became a developer. My main experience is in .NET, and I've pretty much been working on .NET pretty much my whole career. But probably in the last maybe 6 or 7, quite long that now. Since about 2012, I reckon. That's when I started really getting into Angular or JavaScript. Look, AngularJS is just so, for me it was hard to learn. There's a lot of ceremony, you know. You have to remember all that stuff. And Angular just, the Angular we know now, for me it was just a lot easier, because especially the TypeScript, you know, like coming from a .NET background, it was just.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I guess I progressed from being a developer, and then I kind of did a little bit of BA work, and then development, and BA work and development, and then and now I'm much more of a project manager.
So what would you say is your best work experience? Like everything just clicked in the project?
So yeah, I think it's a hard question, because I think most projects. It's very rare to find a project where everything just clicks, or it's also very hard to find a project where everything it doesn't click at all. You know, there's projects go through ups and downs. I think it really depends on the type on the type of role you are in the project, and the type of project as well, I guess. So even though I'm a project manager now, I do a lot of kind of dev work outside of work, and it's kind of hard to find a best experience because they're all so different, I guess. It's always learning experiences from trying different things and different roles as well.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit more about the transition between being a programmer to PM.
Okay. So like I said, for me, like I don't think I was ever really the traditional type of developer where you want to program, you don't want to do anything else but the program. You know, like for me, it was always about delivering something. You know, like or adding value somehow. It was always about. I was more passionate about IT projects than I was about programming. So you know, I like programming because programming is something I've always been passionate about and I still am. But I'd always try to do more things in the project. I guess, like I said, doing the business analyst roles and things like that. And then I've also got this rule that every 2-3 years, I try to look at something different, regardless of whether I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. And it's happened a few times where I've gone, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, but it's been 3 years, I've got to try something different, and I do something different, and it's crap.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had a few of those experiences.
That's a very interesting rule you have.
Well, I feel like I've met so many developers, and it might just be a public service thing, I'm not really sure, but I've met so many developers who are really good at what they do, but when it comes down to it, they've been on the same project for the last 20 years, and that's why they're really good. They're just really good at that particular project. I've always not wanted to be that, you know. I've always wanted to be versatile, I guess. So yeah, the transition to PM was essentially, I was on a project where it was really good. It was actually one of the best projects I'd ever been on, really. The people there were great. It was kind of the kind of team where people would actually hang out, like outside of that's always good, right? The work that you like and things like that. But it had been about 3 years, and the tech that they were using, I felt like I kind of knew the code base pretty well. I wasn't really learning as much as I could anymore. And then, there was an opportunity came up in another team, and I basically said yes to it. And then I went there and I'll be like, oh, actually, this is actually more like a project management team. And kind of just started managing the projects, and then I just ended up being a project manager instead of a developer. Like, programming is important, and it's something I'm really passionate about, and I think once a programmer, you'll always be a programmer. I'm constantly working on side projects and things like that, but there's a different kind of value you have as a project manager. I was always against project management. The problem about project management is actually really hard to find a good project manager. Yeah. And to be honest, I don't even know right now whether I'm actually a good project manager, right? Because it's one of those roles where you kind of have to be really quite versatile. You can't really know everything about what's going on in the project because there's so much that you have to manage, kind of thing. But you kind of have to make sure the project kind of goes okay. And in a lot of ways, you don't actually have a lot of power. Most of the time, you're managing the people below you, but you're also managing the people kind of above you as well. And the people below you are, they're usually super busy, and they're not. You're not usually the only project that they're working on. And the people above you, well, you can only manage them to the best you extent. So no, it's been good to the project management thing, but it was always my philosophy that if I tried project management and I didn't like it, I became a developer again. And I think one day I probably will. The PM experience would actually make me a better developer. Same as the BA experience, just having that empathy for other people in projects and things like that.
Yeah, I find empathy is one of those things that you have to become better at what you do.
For sure.
Yeah, especially in projects or environment.
The biggest risk of failure in any project, in my opinion, or in my experience, is essentially miscommunication. Usually techies can build anything you want, okay? It's just that basically, usually what they build is not built for a purpose. That's why there's business analysts. That's why there's a business analyst is essentially just a translator. A business person who doesn't know how to articulate what they want, and an IT person who can't really basically understand what a business person is saying.
That's a very interesting point, because programmers are translators too, right? Yeah. They're translating human languages into computer language.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just at the end of the day, it turns out everything is about communication.
It is. Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah. And people say they study IT because they don't like to talk to people.
No, it's definitely maybe in the 80s, but yeah, these days IT it's a team sport basically.
Absolutely.
You're not going to be working on your own basically. So.
Yeah, that's great. So on the side, you also manage a CanberraJS meetup group, which has 200 people last time I checked, or something more. I don't know. We don't usually get that many people, but I do. It's not solely managed by me. It's managed by a couple of other guys. So it wasn't actually started by us. Actually, it was actually started by a guy called Brian. I think he was the original CanberraJS person. So basically, this was back in about 20. I think I said this earlier, 2012 when I started getting into JavaScript, right? And that was, I don't know if you remember that age, but that was the era of every single month there'd be a new JavaScript framework. and you kind of had to make this weird strategic decision about whether you want to learn it or not, because there's only so much you can learn, right? So it was during that age, but and that was when Spark, single page applications was really starting to get popular, right? So I decided to go to this JavaScript thing that this Ryan guy had organised, Lee and a few others had also done it as well. But then, and it was okay, but it was run every 2 months, and it was run at this kind of office block thing, and it was just a little bit low key, I guess. But it was still really interesting. It was really good to meet. But the best thing about these meetups, essentially, you get to meet a whole bunch of people that are really passionate about one thing. As an adult, it's actually really hard to make friends, right? That's true.
You see how bored they met up and then now they're playing with each other.
Yeah.
Whereas as an adult, I can't just go up to someone and go, hey dude, you like JavaScript? No. I can't go up to someone and say, no, I'm not going to say that. It just doesn't work, right? So the great thing about these meetups is essentially there's all these people that you already have one thing in common with, So it was really good, but it was a little low key. And then Brian moved away, and he asked me and Lee whether we wanted to keep it up, keep going, and we did. But instead of doing it in this little office building thing, we did it in a pub, and we got food. We got people to actually sponsor the food. So and like these meetups are good to learn stuff, but really it's about meeting people. It's about meeting people that are really, really passionate about what they do. With a slightly different background to yours, you know, like and yeah, like if I can get someone to do a presentation, and then out of that presentation, a whole bunch of people can Google something afterwards. That's enough, really, you know, like so it's about fostering that inspiration. So yeah, it's been really good, and we've been running it for like 7 or 8 years. It kind of died down a little bit during COVID, unfortunately, but yeah, we're starting back up. So yeah, it's something that we look forward to.
Cheers, and thanks for doing that.
Thanks for you've done a few talks as well, so that'd be great.
So you have 2 daughters, you have your work, you have meetup group, and you have this podcast for co-hosting on the side. How are you managing your time? How do you sleep?
You know what? People at work always ask me that as well, actually. So I think the thing is though, like we actually do have a lot of time on our hands. It's just that like a lot of people spend their time doing things that, you know, like think about how much Netflix do you watch? Yeah, you watch on Netflix?
Not me, but I know people who do.
Okay, right. So if you just don't watch Netflix, most people will automatically already have like 2 or 3 hours extra kind of thing, you know. So I just spend a lot more of my time. I mean, I guess I just don't have that many outside interests that are beyond my family and IT, I guess.
A simple man.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, actually. Right. So, what's your favorite tool that you can't live without?
Okay. I can't live without. Okay. Well, it'll probably be an IDE, I guess, or an editor. So I guess as a .NET, it'll probably be Visual Studio for .NET stuff and VS Code from JavaScript stuff. What about you? Can we do a backwards thing where you have
of course. For me, I'll probably go with VS Code.
Yeah.
At this stage. Yeah, because I think you can code .NET in VS Code as well, right?
You can. You can. And I've done on that. But I still look. We mentioned it. C# is a very complicated language, and I still think that I like the experience of VS, like the full version for .NET for now.
Yeah.
Maybe later on it'll be different, but
yeah. Cool. So, what advice would you give for someone who's just starting?
Well, look, my advice is there's never a time where web development has been more accessible. Basically, like you totally agree, right? But no, like programming is like. Actually, my biggest advice, if you want to become a programmer, don't go to university. Probably controversial again.
Yeah, very controversial. Yeah.
Like all the resources are out there. Like you got Stack Overflow. The majority of the world's code is open source, right?
Yeah.
As a programmer, your job isn't knowing everything about programming, really. It's actually being a really good Googler, essentially. A really good
100%.
problem solver, yeah. So yeah, you could go to university and you could spend 3 years or 4 years, or however long, learning how to solve a particular set of problems. Or you could just go and start trying to fix real life problems and learning actually how to solve those. Right? So when I did my university, I probably spent. I really enjoyed university. Having said don't enjoy it, I love university. I probably like meetup more than I like the lectures. But I don't regret my time at university. But essentially, if I think I would have been a lot better if I'd spent my career would have been further along. I think if I'd spent like 4.5 years just working as opposed to 4.5 years building up a tech set essentially. So. So I think I would say don't go to university and just start working on a project, any project, doesn't matter how crap your code is as well, that's the other thing as well. Anything you write right now is probably going to look like crap in about 5 years now, right?
Yeah.
So don't worry about
That applies to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's not you. That's literally every person. You know? Like my Angular code right now would probably be some Angular core thing that we're leaving 5 years on. I don't know, but it's yeah. So don't be ashamed of writing bad code. Just keep writing code. You'll get better. You know, at it, kind of thing. So yeah, that's probably. What about you? What do you think? What would you tell younger you, 20 years ago? You kind of.
To me, I'm probably on the same vein as you, but university or not university, I'm probably on the fence. Because I do think that there are some concepts that you don't quite grab so easily without the university environment. Like
that's true. Yeah. The fundamentals. Yeah.
Yeah, the fundamentals.
Yeah.
There are different kinds of programming as well, right? So if you're building stuff like core React compiler, right?
Yeah.
You would need to know some tree level.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah. I mean, you're right, because if you're doing some sort of AI thing and you want to work for Google for do some machine learning job, you probably do need to go to university.
Yeah, probably. I think majority of programmers are actually in you and I sort of area where we build business applications, and we don't really touch on it. Also, those kind of algorithms, those kind of logic. To me, the advice I would give to the juniors would be start building stuff.
Yeah.
Once you start doing your own projects, it gets into a healthy kind of loop.
Yeah.
So you can sort of, one, you can put that project on your portfolio. You can get more attraction from employers, and you gain more experience. You have more things to talk about when you do interviews. So it's easier to get a job. Once you get into a job, there's so many more experience you're exposed to.
Yeah. It really shines if you've got something to say other than I've got a distinction average and like.
Yeah.
It's really shines when you just say, hey, look, I was on a hackathon, or I developed this particular tool, and it's on GitHub or something.
Moving on to the next question. What motivates you the most?
What motivates me the most? Okay. Interesting question. I think what motivates me the most is probably developers from my team, okay? Well, developers generally like autonomy, yeah? They like to be able to choose what they do, right? And they like to be able to choose their hours as well. If there's a job that you could do that would be a plus. Money obviously motivates me, but it's not the be all and end all, I think. But obviously you can't. I don't think someone would be lying to you that said that money does not motivate you.
That's right, yeah.
But the other thing that really motivates, I think, programmers is making a difference, basically. Like really, like, and the difference could just be, you know what, I want to join this team, and I want to come out of this team. Changing the practices and making things more efficient, you know, or to like, I want to build something and like it's going to change the world. I want to build the next, you know, Wikipedia or something like that. So most people genuinely want to actually help others, you know, as a programmer, you know. So I think those are the three things. But it's always a battle, I guess, because those things generally require you to put in a lot more work, I think. I'm not a 9-to-5er, you know. I'm doing it because I really want to make a difference. You know? Yeah. Just knowing that whatever you do, okay, is going to affect tons of people. It's a bit of a buzz, you know, like when you get it right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, I would say that goal itself trumps the money goal. Do you reckon? Like, because I mean, most programmers make good money. Like, you know, like like even if you're in the industry for 5 years, like you're gonna be making more money. Like you're gonna be living a fairly comfortable lifestyle, you know. So after a certain point, you think about what you can do next, you know. Like and most of it usually it's just self-actualization, you know, like trying to actually, you know, better the world that you live in.
What frustrates you the most?
Okay, what frustrates me the most? Okay, well this is probably an odd thing, but probably red tape frustrates me the most, which is odd because I'm a project manager and it seems like all I deal with is red tape, really. Like,
what's red tape, Adam?
Red tape?
Yeah.
Oh, you've never heard of that? Like bureaucratic stuff, like things that slow the process down, essentially. Like it's necessary, like and the bigger an organisation you work in, the more likely you're going to have more red tape. After a while, it's just about organising people. You know, like you just can't have everyone have production access, right?
Yeah.
Like when there's 2 people, like in a startup, or 3 people, and they're all devs, yeah, everyone's have production access.
Yeah.
When you have, you know, a 10,000 man organisation, yeah, not every person can have that. Then that's a form of red tape. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's something that can be frustrating as a project manager, but it's something that needs to exist, I guess, as well. And it's a tough problem to solve. You know, like you try to eliminate it where you can, and you try to do your best, but at the end of the day, you have to do things safely as well. You know, so yeah. And I guess the other thing that probably frustrates me most, if I ever join a team and there's no willingness for people to adapt and to change, you know, because IT is all about that change, right?
Yeah.
That would turn me off a team, you know, like, but having said that, I've been in very few teams where that was literally the only mantra, you know. They might be leaning towards that, okay, but over time, you can actually make a difference. Like, even when I've joined a team where they're working on the oldest technology, even then, if you approach it with the right mentality, generally there's things you can add, the data that you can add.
Moving on to the next one. How do you keep up with the latest industry trends?
Well, that can be hard. I don't think it's that important though to keep up with the latest trend. It's important for you to kind of know what the technology and what stuff is about, and then if you ever get put on that project, to quickly get up to speed. Having said that, I do like to keep up with the latest trends, just as a matter of, you know, just interest, I guess. And yeah, the JavaScript meetup thing is a great way for me to do that. Even the .NET thing, we interviewed the podcasting. We interviewed, you know, a lot of senior kind of business kind of industry leaders kind of things. So it's a really good way to spend an hour talking to an expert in the field type thing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like I generally read a lot of, you know, articles and things like that. I wouldn't just learn it, just keep up with the trend unless I actually had an actual purpose, you know, like, because you can't learn everything.
It's really, really hard. I like your attitude. I think people out there understand that you don't have to put that much pressure on yourself. If you're a programmer, make sure you're adaptable though, right?
Yeah.
So make sure you are familiar with the change.
Yeah.
Training yourself, adapt to new technologies.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be like always cutting edge, but when the opportunity comes, you gotta be prepared to learn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's pretty much the thing about programming. You're pretty much learning all of the time.
Yeah.
So it's just you kind of still have to strategically decide what you want to learn. You know, if you spend all your time trying to learn the latest trend when you're working on a legacy project and you're not learning that particular technology, that's not going to do you that's going to do you a disservice. So,
Hey, that was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for spending time with me and talking about yourself.
Thank you. This is the first time I've done anything like this. Usually I'm the one interviewing the people, so it's actually interesting to be on the other end. So cheers.